Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Amelia and I post new life and style videos every Wednesday at 4 p.m. So today's video is going to be super quick. It's just a little life update that I teased last week in that video, and I just wanted to let everyone know that I adopted a dog. He's wandering around this room. Hold on, Tank, come here. Come here, baby. Here he is. This is Tank. He is 4 years old, so they think, because he's a rescue. They found him in the snow at a Wawa. He's, we think, a Chorky, so a Chihuahua and a Yorkie mixed together. He's pretty little. He's just 10 pounds. He's a little guy. He loves his belly rubbed and going on walks and playing and yeah, just being cute. And his favorite spot is on the couch. Of course, what dog doesn't love being on the couch? So yeah, here's my dog. I've had him for about a month now. I adopted him from a rescue called the Women's Animal Center in Bustleton, Pennsylvania. They're an adoption center, training center, and hospital. They have dogs and cats, so if you're interested and you live in that area, definitely check them out. Funny enough, I saw him on their website and immediately put in an application because I was like, he's the perfect size, the perfect age. And the next day I went to check and he wasn't there, and I texted my boyfriend. I was like, oh, I think Tank's gone. But a few hours later they called me and they were like, hey, do you want to come in and meet him? I was like, totally. And so I got to meet him that day and took him home. It was a very quick process. Literally ran out during my lunch break to grab supplies. And yeah, they did say, you know, because he was just found on the side of the road, they don't have a lot of information about him. They do know that he has resource guarding issues, so if you're not familiar with dogs, it's just, it depends for different dogs, but for him it's like toys and food he'll get very possessive of and can growl or bite. We actually experienced this the first night he was here. He ate too much. We accidentally fed him like too much dinner. We fed him like a whole container of wet food instead of half. They didn't really tell me how much he needed to eat and I wasn't entirely sure. So he wound up throwing up and he was in his crate and I wanted to clean it up. So we were like, come here, Tank, like come here. And then we like, you know, reached in and he growled and he started eating his vomit. And then me and my boyfriend were like, oh my God, no, which is totally not the right response. You should not be yelling like a crazy person when that happens. But my boyfriend did reach into the crate and unfortunately got nipped because he has sharp little teeth. But that's been the only like instance of like true aggression. He has growled, I don't want to say a lot, but in those circumstances where he has a toy and I want to take it away from him because he likes to rip it apart and I obviously don't want him eating those threads, he'll growl. And we've been teaching him leave it. So basically, like, we say leave it, and then if he leaves it and comes over to us, then he gets a treat. I'm going to be sending him or signing him up for training classes, but we also discovered that he has what we think are stress-induced seizures. He had one after I vacuumed the whole house and he was barking like crazy, which dogs do, so I really didn't think much of it. And then after I stopped, he was like shaking and just like, he still looked with it but didn't have like control over his body and was stumbling like he was drunk. And then it happened again when I tried to put a rain jacket on him and he just like did not like it. I took him to the vet. They said everything was fine physically, neurologically. They ran a blood panel, everything looked good, so they just think it's stress related. So we're just kind of gonna ease into things more than just throwing him in to everything and see how he does. I personally think he was a pet before because he still knows certain things. Like, he's, I'd say, about 90% potty trained or house trained. He does look a little scraggly still, but we're gonna get him groomed in about 2 weeks. We had to wait because he was just neutered at that place, which was also kind of weird to me. I feel like neutering and spaying is a pretty common thing, so if he was a pet, it was odd that that just didn't happen in the 4 years of his life. He wants to get down and go bark at people. I've grown up with pets my whole life, and I actually have, or my family has, a Chihuahua that also has resource guarding issues, so I was pretty accustomed to that trait. Unfortunately, the other dog isn't so easily trainable. He's just an emotional animal and just has a lot of anger. We don't know why, because we had him since a puppy, so we're not really sure. We say he just has demons. And not to like end this on a downer, but I did just want to like briefly touch on adopting a pet or getting a pet after the loss of a previous one. So you probably saw my cat Cece in other videos I've done over the 2 years, and she obviously has not been in any recently because she fortunately had intestinal lymphoma and passed away at only 2 years old. So it was just, I still get kind of sad and emotional thinking about it. So it was just emotional and sad and heartbreaking. I have a little picture of her on this necklace with her name, and even through that whole process, never once did I feel like this is ruined pet ownership for me forever. That like never even crossed my mind. You know, like shitty things happen. Like that's unfortunately a very big part of life, but the joys of owning a pet kind of outweigh all those cons, at least for me. She was also found on the street, so she had a much better life, much better care than she would have if she was never found and brought into the adoption system. I can say that looking at cats is still like a little raw for me, just because some of them look like her and it just reminds me, but I will definitely get a cat in the future. I love cats and their aloof energy, but I definitely been wanting a dog. My boyfriend's never had a pet before and loves animals and wanted a dog, so I thought this would, one, kind of be a good way to focus some of that like sadness onto something better and in need. I'm not saying immediately get another pet. Like if you're not ready, you're not ready. Especially transitioning from a cat to a dog, there's a whole different level of maintenance and care that goes into the two animals, so definitely like research. But you know, for the month I didn't have a pet, I would just like sit at night after work and just like be lonely and just think about how like I don't have a cuddle buddy, or I don't have, you know, a pet to play with, or even the extra hour maybe out of my day that the care for her took. Like now that was my free time, and I was kind of like, okay, well what am I doing? And I just wanted to like put that energy into another animal and give another animal a good home. So I went with adoption and found Hank, and he has been perfect and I love him so much. I still get sad over Cece, as I said, and you know, she has a little memorial in my home. I have this necklace, and as with any other death, it's just going to take time. Yeah, he came back up, so let's say bye. I'm concerned he's gonna pee up here because he likes to pee in new spots of the home. Tinky! Yeah, that's my boy. And this is us. This is Tinky. And he already has some nicknames. Tanky Lanky, Mr. Tank, Tinkerton. Yeah, Cece had like 5,000 nicknames, so I'm sure we will continue to have more for him. And I think that wraps it up. Just wanted to give a life update on this cutie. Okay, say bye. Bye. Bye, guys.